Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. I'm sitting here a little bit dazed. Just dazed. Today has been a challenging day. After a week of challenging week. I did a video yesterday talking all about the emotional purges, the grief that's been coming up. And today I had to pull up my big girl pants and do some adulting and humaning, both of which I haven't, well, I adult every day, but I don't human every day. I've been living in isolation for a really long time. So I don't really go out into society very much, but in the last couple of weeks, I've been forced to, because I have. Today, the day started very early, the crack of dawn. I woke up and got myself organized and ready to do my first snow drive. So that was a little bit anxiety. It meant a lot of anxiety for a couple days leading up to this. Then I had to bring Arwen to the vet, where I have left her for x-rays and testing. When we are super close with our animals and our children, there is a lot of energy exchange that happens. And, you know, I think she's been fighting so hard, as have I, at clearing energies and doing healing work. And she's been my faithful sidekick for 8 years. And I love her very, very much. And I don't want to see her suffer. So I don't. I've said, just do all the tests. Let's find out what we're dealing with so that we know, you know, because he gave me the option, you know, we can go the cheap route and just give her another course of antibiotics. And this would be her third round of antibiotics in 6 months. So I'm not so keen on that path. And he's like, or you could leave her here and we can do x-rays and urine testing, blood testing. And I'm like, do it all. Just do it all. Let's get to the root of this. I want to know what's happening with the poor girl. And because there's blood in her urine. I do know that. So it could be stress. It could be energetic purging that she's doing on my behalf. It could be a lot of things. It could be cystitis. It could be urinary infections, which she's already been treated for twice, as I said. It could be stones. It could be an exacerbation of her kidney disease. So all of this, to get to the point of today's video, all of this is leading me to sit in a very weird space. I came home and I cleansed the space with sage. And I'm just sitting here in this emptiness. Like the shift in energy with her not here is huge. And now many of us on this awakening journey are forced to deal with loneliness. And it was funny, not as in haha, but like weird. I sat here and I've got a deck just out of one of my Oracle decks and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to just pull a card. And I pulled a card and what came up was loneliness and connection. And card number 31. And man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, that fits on an awakening journey. So I wanted to talk a little bit about loneliness and surrendering to God's will, which has been what is necessary for me. And what I like about this card is really neat is because you've got all this like cityscape, but this person, you know, even though there might be like lots of people around you, you might feel totally alone or isolated, or you could be like me living on a total like little island, you know, not that I'm on an actual island, but I might as well be. This awakening has had me over time my sphere, my world has gotten like smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You know, my world became, about 5 people for a really long time pre-awakening. And then the awakening hit, and those people kind of, relationships burned to the ground. Like, there wasn't like a just nice walking away. I mean, they collapsed, they crumbled. It was towers, moments after tower moments, really profound losses, like just shocking losses, till eventually Spirit stripped away from me everyone, absolutely everyone. My best friend was the first shocking relationship to like completely disintegrate and collapse. A friendship that was 25 years in the making. She was the godmother of my son, and I haven't heard a word from her in 5 years now. The next was the collapse of my marriage. And that was a good thing in the long run. That was a very dysfunctional relationship. Then came the break of my mother, which was my last surviving parent, because my father had previously passed away in 2015. Next up, it was like the mass exodus of friends and friend groups, acquaintances. Like, I had found myself this improv group that was like, I thought was like my people. I'm like, you're my soul tribe. No, you're not. You're here, you're gone. And that was my doing, because we came to a choice point where there was an ethical difference of opinion. And as the saying goes, are you willing to stand alone for what you believe in, even though you're the only one that believes it? Well, in that choice point, the answer was yes. I chose to stand alone. And then one after another, kind of like friends that I had met through my awakening came in and went out, came in and went out. And each of them bringing with them a life lesson, and then they were gone. And, I need to learn boundaries, and then they were gone. I need to learn to recognize and discern and trust my intuition, and then they were gone. I need to understand I'm worth more, okay, and then they're gone. So each of these, these connections that happen weren't like permanent connections. They were. I look at it like my son used to love those role play video games when he was young. And you had to go and talk to people to get an exchange of something. Go talk to so-and-so in the forest so you can get the key that we're going to unlock the door. And so that's kind of what it's like, is you on this awakening path is you meet somebody, and then you have 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then this isn't gonna, we're not resonating on the same frequency anymore, or the choice point comes and the decision needs to be made. Are you going to stick in this relationship because it offers you one or two things that make you feel good? Like, for me, I'm a sucker for validation. People who validate me, I'm like, I want you around in my life because it feels so good. But you're doing these other weird things that are treating me like crap. So then you ask, okay, well, am I going to sell part of myself because you give me some things that resonate with me? Or am I going to go, no, sorry, this isn't going to work. Certain things I have learned along the way are a hard no for me now. Anybody that gaslights me might as well fuck off, immediately. I just won't tolerate that. Manipulation, lying, non-reciprocal energy, judgment, criticism, sarcasm is a hard no. Love bombing, oh, definitely. Or even, when just my nervous system says run for your life. I didn't listen to my nervous system in a lot of situations that put me in harm's way. And each time I got faster and quicker at going, no, this is a no. And it's hard to say this is a no when you know that means loneliness. That means sitting on your own and being alone. But Kundalini wants you to have no attachments. I have learned this lesson over and over and over again. Like, you need to surrender. So that meant for me, letting go of attachments, not only to people, but to things, to the way I thought about life, the way I thought about myself, the way I behaved, habits, addictions, pretty much everything, absolutely everything. I let go of makeup, hair dye, Spanx, bras, shaving, because in getting to know my divine feminine, I was like, oh, fuck no. I'm not altering myself for some man. No, that's not going to happen anymore. When I went through Dark Night of the Soul and I started remembering some repressed memories of what was done to me as a child. And I was like, Jesus, we've been sexualizing women from the time they're like children, and that's just gross. So yeah, I'm just not participating in the sexualization of feminines anymore. I'm just not. I'm just done with that. So I am, which also means I'm done pretty much with dating, because most men wouldn't understand that. Like 99.9% of men would not understand, in my opinion. Like, listen, I haven't met every single man on the planet, but my opinion, most men are looking for somebody that can fulfill like a certain criteria of what it is to be a woman. You need to look the part. Well, I'm done looking the part of anything. I'm done with parts. There's another attachment that you let go of. You let go of the attachment of all the wounds, all the masks, that you wear. And I wore so many masks. Oh my God, and talking about, the dating world, the mask that is the femme fatale, that sexy, I need to sexualize myself. I need to be alluring. And like, think of the word alluring, lure. Like, I'm going to hook you. I'm going to reel you in. But this alluring person that I am isn't actually who I am, because who I am is this like crazy wackadoodle woman that like is au naturel and wants to go hiking. So like, there's 0 point in me wearing a push-up bra and like painting my lips when I want to attract a man that wants to go hiking. Right? Like, but this is the way my mind worked, probably because I was indoctrinated to believe that I wasn't beautiful just as this. A funny story, actually. I participated in a Kundalini group, highly recommend, by the way, by Brent Spirit. And it's free, although I did make a donation yesterday. So he does these Kundalini groups, and there were these comments, and this conversation came up about all the stuff, all the attachments you let go of. And I was saying that I had let go of makeup and hair dye and Spanx and bras and shaving. And there was a couple comments underneath, and this one man said, you're beautiful just the way you are, or something along those lines. And I thought he was talking to me because like, it was like my thread. And then he re-edited it and put in the name of the woman he meant, which wasn't me. And all I could do was laugh. I'm like, well, okay, you don't think I'm beautiful? That's okay. I don't really think you're beautiful either. But it was funny because it was like one of those moments where you see somebody like winking at you or going like that, and they're actually winking at somebody behind you, or, you know, flirting with somebody behind you, and you're like awkward and gawky, because I had said thank you and I was like, oops, sorry. So I deleted my thank you, as in like, yeah, okay, she's beautiful, I got it. But like, we get indoctrinated by society that tells us, you know, we're not acceptable or we're not desirable unless we look like Kim Kardashian or something like that. And no, too much work, too much maintenance, too much. So that's a hard no for me. So that means, okay, loneliness versus connection. Like, what are you willing to do for connection? How much are you willing to hide yourself, alter yourself, shift yourself, mask yourself, change yourself, tolerate? And my answer to that is zero. Like, I'm willing to do zero things and tolerate zero things that don't match my energy. So, you know, I have gotten to know myself through this isolation phase that I have been in for years upon years upon years. Truly, you know, I love my sense of humor. I think I'm fucking hilarious. I don't care if anybody else thinks that or not. That's not why I crack jokes. I crack jokes because I'm laughing at them. I have learned that I'm insanely resilient. I'm exceptionally strong. I'm way more powerful than I give myself credit for, you know, because my fears always like overwrite that. I'm quite intelligent, actually, more so than I think a lot of people. And so I know for me, any connections that I have, whether it be friends and or, you know, potential partners, if they don't have a certain degree of like mental stimulation, it's not going to be working for me. You know, like I can't talk about the weather. And then that's like an autistic thing. It's like, let's go deep. Hi, what's your name? Let's go deep. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the trauma. Let's talk about shadow shit. You know, what happened to you? You're feeling what? Yeah. You know, I want to play in the depths of, you know, really having intimate connection with people. And I'm very blessed to have met Soul Tribe that has come in. They're just not in my physical reality. They're in my internet reality or my telephone reality. And, you know, I'm lucky because, you know, people check in on me and will say, hey, you know, or I talk during my Zoom calls with other humans, which is a time to like actually see other humans, which is amazing. If you haven't already joined the Spiritual Warriors Support Group Zoom meetings, join, especially if you're lonely, because it gives you a chance to have some connection with others that are going through this crazy awakening process. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm alone. I am alone except for me and Arwen. And I don't know what's going to happen because I have surrendered fully and completely to God at this point. Do I want her to be okay? Of course I do. But if she's suffering, do I want that? No, I don't. So I am fully surrendered to the fact that God might choose at this moment in time to take my cat away from me. And then I'll be truly alone. Like, completely and utterly. And I'll process through that if that's what God wants. What I've gotten used to doing at this stage is surrendering to spirit and surrendering to God, surrendering to Kundalini and saying, if this is the emotion or the experience that you need me to experience, then I'll experience it. If you need me to experience betrayal, then I experienced a lot of betrayal. If you need me to experience grief and loss, then I'm going to accept that that's what I needed to experience for my soul's mission. You need me to experience total isolation, then I will deal with that too. I will surrender to that too. Do I want it? No. But what I have learned on this awakening is a lot of things that we experience are not desirable, but they're for our highest and greatest good. You know, medicine doesn't always taste good, but it's for our highest and greatest good. I drink a lot of like herbal teas, and not all my teas taste good. I don't drink them because they taste good. I drink them because they're functional. A lot of my foods that I eat aren't like the most flavorful things in the world, but I eat them because they're functional. And so a lot of the emotions or experiences that I have not been desirable, wanted, or positive. Far fucking from it. But they were necessary for my awakening, because it is through suffering that one awakens to the reality that the attachments that we have to ideas, to people, to beliefs, to behaviors is in itself the root cause of the suffering. And when we surrender to a place of acceptance of this is the experience that God or spirit, the creator, whatever you want to call it, is demanding of me right now. And it too shall pass. It's not a permanent state of being. It too shall pass. So if what is being asked of me is grief, I surrender to the grief. If what is being asked of me is forgiveness, then I surrender to the forgiveness. I've been doing a lot of forgiveness work as of late, mostly to myself. Forgiving myself. Forgiving myself for all the shit that I tolerated before. For some of that validation. Or for some, what looks like on the outside, an okay relationship. Yeah, people don't know what goes on behind closed doors or between text messages. People don't know. So yes, a lot of forgiveness. Even forgiveness, a weird forgiveness that has come up for me is forgiving myself for falling in love. I realized, talk about surrender. I had the realization today that along this awakening path, it's kind of like a leaderboard, and one side of the leaderboard is God or spirit, and the other side of the leaderboard is like you or your ego. And like, so far it's like 35 to God and 0 to me, like every time I try to control something and control the outcome, or control how I feel, or control how somebody else might feel, I get a big old 0. It's like, and God gets another point. And this whole twin flame journey, really beat the crap out of my ego. And which is the point of the journey, right? But I can remember at the beginning, I was so embarrassed because I couldn't control any of it. Like I couldn't control my feelings, and I was like, this isn't good. I gotta control this. I gotta shut this shit down. This can't happen. Like, what? I gotta shield up is what I gotta do. I gotta, I gotta just communicate with this person. I gotta control this. I gotta heal so I can, there was so much control issues going on. With, trying to get the desirable outcome that I so wanted. And that's not what this is about. This is about letting go of control, if anything. So when I couldn't control it, and I couldn't control or shut down my feelings, like I kept asking in a joking manner, like, where's the fucking off-ramp, man? Like, How do you stop this? I need to shut this down. This is ridiculous. This is nonsense. And man, did I beat this shit out of myself as a control measure. As trying to control this journey, I used to like beat myself up and, you shouldn't feel like this. You should get over this. It's been 4 freaking years. Like, why do you still think of this person? And I'm like, I give up. I wave the white flag of everything in my life right now. I'm going to be experiencing whatever God wants me to experience. If that means experiencing another loss of my cat, then I will have to do that. I will surrender to that. And if it means being on my own for the rest of my life, I will surrender to that. That one really, that fear really kind of took over me because of the programming my mother said by saying, nobody would ever love me ever again in my life. That landed really hard. But I've actually processed through that, and I'm like, well, maybe she was right. Maybe it was her own sick fuck prophecy. If it is, it is, What dude wants a hairy armpit, crazy lady? I don't even care. I don't even care anymore, I'm going to be sent where I'm going to be sent. I'm going to be given the missions that I'm going to be given. I'm going to be given the supports that I need to be given. Because ultimately, I'm not alone. I may look like I'm alone, physically. I might be on my own an awful lot of the time. But what I have found the biggest connection, is the one to God. It blows my mind that I went from being somebody who never used the word God, was not all about the prayer. I connected to the angelic realm always, but I was always very standoffish on anything too religious or, I actually had control issues around that too. Cause I'll control how much woo woo I'm going to let in or how much spirituality I'm going to let in. I'm only going to dance along the fringe. And now I'm diving into the deep end of light language and these insane healings that I do and clearing energy and all kinds of woo-woo. And I'm yep, that's me. I'm going to woo-woo it all up. So I am. But the connection that I've got is I've also been getting all these downloads and realizing that, Spirit doesn't just have our backs. Spirit works through me all the time. So Spirit has my mouth and sometimes takes it over and says whatever it wants. And I'm just hey, surrender. And it's weird because sometimes I'll be talking to somebody and weird conversation comes up and I'm why did I even talk about that? That's weird. Spirit needed them to know that information for whatever reason. And so that's why it comes up. And sometimes Spirit shows me after the fact and I'm oh, that's why. And so this becoming embodied by Spirit is what this process is all about. It's edging ego out and opening ourselves, this whole awakening process has cracked you open, painfully cracked you open to create space for Spirit to come and fill you. And funny story, I can remember when I finally had the balls to kick my ex out of the house. And I was embodied by Spirit. So, that's what I say. This connection is the ultimate connection because I was standing in the hallway and I was talking loudly. You need to get the fuck out now, today. That's it. No more. And I don't talk like that. And I don't speak like that. But in that moment, it was I was channeling Kali. Like Callie's recognized, this higher ancestral energy recognized that my boundaries were being crossed, and that was a hard no from Spirit. And Spirit's like, right, you haven't taken care of this, we're going to take care of this for you. And he even said, like, after the fact, you were possessed. No, possession is negative energies, and that's probably a projection. Somebody accuses you of something. What I was embodied, and I was embodied by Spirit when I got a confession out of him, because that made no sense. Still to this day, the fact, and I know I was channeling Archangel Michael at the time, and Michael was talking through me, and I was quoting scripture, and I wasn't raised with scripture, and all of a sudden and he's confessing, like that's connection. Having faith in the divine, that divine has your back no matter what happens, and even if it's shitty shit that happens, that it's all divinely orchestrated. So whatever you are going through, whatever collapse, and even it's divinely orchestrated and divinely timed. Because my controlling self, my desire to control, had I controlled the legal situation the way I wanted to, let's say, my ego self wanted to have a 50-50 agreement from day one. If that had happened, I was still married at the time, which would have put me at risk of losing money to my ex. So it was all divinely timed that I couldn't get access, and the legal battle had to continue until he was well and truly out of my life. So I'm like, thanks, Spirit. Thanks for the legal battle. I get it now. I understand why it had to be like that. Why did I have to be abused? Lots of people ask the question, why did I have to suffer? Why did I have to go through that experience? Well, if I wasn't abused as a child and abused as a married person, a reenactment of abuse of narcissistic and negative possessed energies, then I wouldn't be doing a YouTube today, and I wouldn't be helping anybody, and that has greater purpose. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm taking this really shitty thing that happened, and I'm alchemizing it into something beautiful, something caring, something compassionate, something loving. So what am I doing with this grief? Oh, I'm alchemizing it into being more self-loving, more self-compassionate, more self-forgiving. So this grief, as horrible as it's been, has been like, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself. Like, Jesus, divine love, when it's put into your heart, it's not like you can control it. God, this is an inconvenience for me. Do you think maybe you could take this back? Thanks for the gift, but no. That's not how it works. And control other people, well, maybe if I do this, he's going to love me. And maybe if I heal, he's going to love you. You can't control what you feel, and you can't control what other people feel. And you can't control. What you can control is your willingness to surrender, to experience what God wants you to experience. Even if it's shitty, knowing that shitty thing holds some sort of treasure, some sort of skill, some sort of magic within it, that is going to help you in the future, so that you can stand in your power and be in purpose, in alignment. So it's like that television show, where the people, what is it, Gladiator? It's like we're gladiators, and we are spiritual warriors. So we're gladiators, and we're put through one after another of difficult situations to strengthen us, to help us communicate, to help us recognize when our old traumas are coming up, and painting over the reality of the situation, and help us go and do the shadow work and do the inner child work and reparent and reprogram and embody spirit, embody our highest selves. So today, my message is all about surrendering into the now. Whatever the now is, as crappy as the now might be. Because it won't be crappy forever. It's never winter forever. Although, it's winter here early and I'm like, I'd rather be in Mexico. But that's not where I am. I am here now in the cold. So find beauty. Maybe I'll walk down to the river and take some pictures. Find beauty in the here and the now, if you can. And if you can't find beauty, that's okay too. We don't need to be positive vibes only. We need to be human experiences fully. And some of those experiences are done on your own, and some of those experiences are done through connection. Relationship teaches. And that might be just a small little interaction with somebody that gives you a wrong tone and then triggers you. Like I had that experience recently. Or your car has issues and you just bought it and you need to bring it back into the dealership and you have to connect with the salesperson and talk to them in a way that doesn't get their back up and get them all defensive, but puts them on side to help you so you can become a better negotiator. Whatever the situations are, that are happening in your life right now, they all have meaning. Just because you don't know the meaning doesn't mean there isn't meaning. And yeah, if you're like me and you got some control stuff happening or being brought to your attention, it's okay. You got to forgive yourself for that too. I'm going to forgive myself for trying to control my emotions and trying, like all my life, trying to control my emotions. Let's numb those fuckers up. Who the hell wants to sit in sorrow? Nobody. But that's what God needs us to do, because then you understand it. And then you have greater compassion for other people that experience it. And then you don't go through the world saying things like, get over it. So don't get over it. It'll get over itself in its own time, as is divinely orchestrated. So today, just sit in it. I would love to know what you're sitting in. Drop me a comment. I really appreciate those. I am sending everybody out there all my love and attention. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the comments, everything. Thank you for those that join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group and have some connection. Thank you for those and sending love to those that are feeling really isolated and alone on this path. In that isolation and aloneness, connect to Spirit. Peace. Peace. Peace in.